说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello there, this is Chinese Pod coming to you from Shanghai, China. My name is Ken Carroll.
Hello there, I'm Jenny.
Now, today we're with The Hungry Traveler, our series where we follow this lucky man around China as he visits the various places and tries out the food. And where are we today, Jenny?
We're in Hangzhou.
Hangzhou.
对
Tell us briefly about something about Hangzhou, would you please?
Oh, we have a saying in Chinese.
Yes.
上有天堂,
Yes.
下有苏杭,
Ooh.
which means you have the heaven,
Yeah.
The heavenly kingdom, but on earth there's Hangzhou and Suzhou.
Wow.
So they're comparable to,
Hangzhou and Suzhou.
对, to the ethereal kingdom.
Wow. So pretty much they're pretty nice cities. That's what they say. This comes from from the past, a time when Hangzhou and Suzhou were sort of almost like perhaps leading global
Yes.
metropolises.
Where trade, arts, and I think food all
Yes.
flourished.
That's
and
right.
arts.
And right, the whole thing. And it's also, these are the places that Marco Polo apparently
yes.
visited too and was so impressed
Silk
by.
tea.
So we're going back, wow, 1,000 years to the Song. It would have been at its height, Hangzhou,
Yes.
and throughout the Yuan and later. So, and to this day, Hangzhou is still a phenomenally beautiful place to visit
Yes.
because of the
西湖,
Xihu,
西湖.
the West Lake.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is a lake. And it is rather beautiful
Yes.
and remarkable. And any visitor to this part of China, it's not too far from Shanghai actually, should
And
go
you
and
can
see it.
yes, and you can catch some live fish from 西湖.
That's right.
And make it into a famous Hangzhou dish.
Yes. So we're going to follow the Hungry Traveler. He's in Hangzhou.
restaurant.
He's in a restaurant as usual with his friend. And they've just ordered up some dishes and they're on the way. This is a fairly easy lesson, not terribly challenging, but there are some local delicacies that we deal with.
对
Yeah, so let's listen 3 times and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at it.
好。对话第一遍。
西湖醋鱼，
好香啊！
别拍了，快吃吧。
东坡肉，
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭，
我也要。
2碗。
第二遍。
西湖醋鱼，
好香啊！
别拍了，快吃吧。
东坡肉，
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭，
我也要。
2碗。
第三遍。
西湖醋鱼，
好香啊！
别拍了，快吃吧。
东坡肉，
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭，
我也要。
2碗。
Okay, let's translate it.
西湖醋鱼，
West Lake vinegar fish.
西湖醋鱼，
West Lake vinegar fish.
西湖醋鱼，好香啊，
Wow, it smells good.
好香啊，
That smells good.
好香啊！别拍了，快吃吧。
That's enough pictures. Come on, let's start to eat.
别拍了，快吃吧。
All right, you don't need to take any more pictures. Hurry up and eat.
别拍了，快吃吧。东坡肉，
Dongpo braised pork.
东坡肉，
Dongpo braised pork.
东坡肉。哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭。
Wow, this is my favorite. Waiter, bring me a bowl of rice.
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭。
This is my favorite. Waiter, can you bring me a bowl of rice?
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭。我也要，
Me too.
我也要，
I'd like some too.
我也要。2碗，
2 bowls.
2碗，
2 bowls.
2碗。
So we have 3 people, just to be clear here in this dialogue. So the hungry traveler's friend and the waitress.
Yes.
Yeah. They could well be, because I've done this, sitting in a restaurant overlooking the lake. Right? The lake is very
Expensive.
expansive. It is. In fact, I know because I walked around it. It's 15 kilometers, in fact. Travelable about, yeah. I've walked around it and it's
I've
really,
biked
really nice.
around it.
Have you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's like a more or less, you could make a day-long walk out of it. You can stop
it's
at
really
various
beautiful,
points.
yeah.
Really nice. So I could imagine these overlooking the lake and having this great food. Let's take a look at it. What was the first dish?
西湖醋鱼，西湖醋鱼。
Now we have the 西湖.
Right.
That is the West Lake. Literally West Lake.
Yes.
So the tones are
First and second.
first and second. 西 as in west.
And 湖 as in lake.
And yes, and 湖 second tone
对
lake.
Do you
Yeah.
know what Lakers, LA Lakers are in Chinese?
No, what are they called?
湖人。
The 湖人.
对
The lake people.
Yes.
Wow, that's funny. Well, I didn't know that. There you go. Okay, so here we have the West Lake. Now, we've translated this as vinegar fish because it's a literal translation. There might be another term used in English. I don't know. But anyway, we've called it the
The vinegar fish.
vinegar fish. So that was
醋鱼。
醋鱼,
对
fourth and second.
Yes.
Now, the word for vinegar is
醋。醋
fourth tone, right? And for fish, of course, is
鱼。鱼
so when you put them together, you get
醋鱼。醋鱼。
醋鱼.
对，西湖醋鱼 is a distinct Hangzhou dish.
Yes. Now, it says vinegar fish doesn't sound terribly enticing. It's actually more like a sweet and sour thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but you see a lot of sweet sour thing made using tomato paste in Chinese restaurants.
Yeah.
However, 西湖醋鱼 it's made using vinegar and lots of sugar.
Aha.
The taste is wonderful, exquisite.
Yes, yes. Not just like a vinegary taste.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of a sweet and sour thing. So there you have it. Now, when we say something like that smells really good, the phrase here was
好香啊，好香啊。
好香啊.
对。
Now, this sweet smell is the first tone as a kind of mnemonic to remember it's the first tone. Let's hear it again.
香，香，
香. Now, anything that smells good, you can say.
香。
It's pretty 香.
Right.
And it's also the first in Chinese that the word for Hong Kong is actually,
对，香港，香港。
which is actually translated as fragrant
Fragrant
harbor.
harbor.
There you go. So xiang, think of, the sweet smell or whatever it is in a fragrant harbor in Hong Kong.
Audrey Hepburn.
Ah,
I've
okay.
never smelled her, but somehow I think she will have a
bet
very
she's-
elegant sweet
Well,
smell.
that's true. If somebody comes in wearing some really new, beautiful perfume, you'd also say,
好香啊，
好香啊. Even a guy wearing an aftershave,
Cologne.
that's fine. You can say,
好香啊。
香啊.
对。
There you go. Now, this is a really interesting little piece. The next part, she says basically, don't take any more photos.
别拍了，别拍了。
别拍了.
对，
Now, the tones are
别 second，拍 first，别拍了。
别拍了.
对，别拍了。
Now, this is, there's a lot more to this sentence than meets the eye. Would you want to tell us something about this, Jenny?
Well, the important thing here is the verb.
Yep.
拍
Pai,
拍
first tone.
Yes, as in to take a picture.
Yes, yes.
拍照。
拍照.
And 别拍了
Yep.
means like, enough pictures.
Enough
Don't take
pictures.
any more
Yeah.
pictures.
Now, 别 meaning stop, essentially.
Yes.
Don't. Yeah, don't click, don't take the photos.
对。
But the particle at the end tells us a lot more about what's going on here, right?
了 is very important here.
Yep.
It indicates you've been doing something and
Yes.
now it's time to stop.
Yes.
别拍了
Yeah, so the la indicates something that has been happening.
Yes.
Right. Now, if she just said 别拍, that means he may not have started.
but
With the
you're not
pai.
allowed.
You're not allowed to. That's right.
对。
You can't do it. But 别拍了 means stop what you're doing.
Yes.
She's basically trying to get it. He's taking photos. He's a hungry traveler of all this food. And she's like, okay, enough photos.
别拍了
别拍了。
对 So you can substitute other verbs.
Yes.
For example, 别吃了
Yeah,
别
stop
吃了
eating.
别说了
Yeah.
别看了
That stop talking, stop doing it is that thing that you're doing. So it's a wonderfully powerful little particle. Better than your average particle, this one.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Now, and then instead you should be,
快吃吧
okay.
快吃吧
That's fairly straightforward. Now, this type of pork is called
东坡肉东坡肉
dongpo ro.
Yes.
First, and fourth.
Yep.
Now, ro as in meat.
对
Usually when you say ro, it means pork in Chinese.
Yes.
But it means meat.
Meat.
But this is generally understood. Now, this name, Dongpo, could you reveal something?
Well, I know you're a fan of Su Dongpo.
Yes.
He's a very colorful character.
He is.
A poet from Song Dynasty.
He's from the Song Dynasty, which is 11th century, 差不多, right? He's around that at 11th century. 差不多. And he's more than a poet, though, right?
Yes.
He was an official. He was a
Yep.
governor of the region. He was a poet. He was, I believe he
He
was.
can paint
he can
and
paint,
great
right.
calligrapher.
Yes, the whole thing.
All around.
Kind of a Sammy Davis Jr. kind of a
I think
someone.
so.
Man, he could do anything, write music and poetry and the whole. A Renaissance man, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. But he's also a political figure. He was a governor and he understood engineering and the whole thing. So he's pretty impressive as an individual. And this kind of guy would be, he could stand up at parties or at dinners and stuff or after dinners and he could just sort of summarize the evening and write a beautiful calligraphy on the wall. And
Yep.
it would be poetry. It would be whole thing. That's really quite
And
impressive.
very often inspired by alcohol and nice pork.
That's right. The story about this
Pork.
this kind of pork, they name it after him.
对。
He's from that region. He lived in that region.
So was he a big fan of the
No, the story is that one day he was cooking pork and he started
He
to
was
play.
also a cook.
Well, yeah, he could,
Okay.
of course. I mean, he could do absolutely everything
Yeah.
under the sun. But anyway, he was cooking this pork and he got into a chess game. And he got so engrossed in the chess game that he forgot about the pork. And several hours later, he went back and discovered this amazing smell coming
And
from
really
the
tender
slow
meat.
braised meat. And then he decided to, hey, once again, I mean, these things just happen to Su Dongpo.
Amazing story
Yeah.
and amazing dish.
Yes.
But I don't think it's very acceptable to foreigners.
I don't really like it, to be honest with you.
Because it's a big piece of meat
Yeah.
with a lot of fat on
It's
it.
very fat. Yeah.
And very, very little meat.
Yeah, so it smells great, the sauce is great, but I don't really eat fatty
对。
stuff. But this is pretty fat, I can tell you.
But it's
yeah.
culturally fascinating.
Yes, it is. So that's Dongpo ro.
对，东坡肉。
That's it. Now, of course, the hungry travelers.
Well, he
he's-
loves it.
Yeah.
He digs it.
Yeah,
我最喜欢这个，服务员来一碗饭
so that's fairly straightforward. We went like you went fan.
，a bowl of rice.
Yeah, and lai is used the verb to give, to bring, whatever.
Yes.
It's literally to come, of course. Like you want fan. And his friend also wants one.
我也要，我也要，
And in fact,
要2碗。
I want 2
对。
bowls. All right, why don't we listen to that dialogue a couple more times?
好，
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
对话第一遍。
西湖醋鱼，
好香啊！
别拍了，快吃吧。
东坡肉，
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭，
我也要。
2碗。
第二遍，
西湖醋鱼，
好香啊！
别拍了，快吃吧。
东坡肉，
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭，
我也要。
2碗。
第三遍，
西湖醋鱼，
好香啊！
别拍了，快吃吧。
东坡肉，
哇，我最喜欢这个。服务员，来一碗饭，
我也要。
2碗。
We can very
Yeah.
quickly a cultural point.
Yes.
The hungry traveler loves the dongpo roll,
Yes.
and then he goes on to order rice.
That's
but
right.
in China, to sort of tell if a dish tastes good
Yes.
is whether it inspires you to eat rice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it moves you to eat
How
rice.
does that work?
Because if a dish is really tantalizing
Yes.
and amazing,
Yeah.
and then you want to eat more, and
Yes.
to couple it with rice, that's
Okay.
the best combination in Chinese
Whoa.
culture.
Okay, so that's the logic. Because I could have interpreted it the other way. I don't really want to eat the
see?
meat. I'll have the rice instead.
Right.
But hey, I've just learned something cultural. But yeah, it's very common in sort of nicer restaurants where they give you the food first and not the
Yes.
rice. You have to actually ask for the rice then,
对。
which is common.
好, that's it from us, from the
Yeah.
Hungry Traveler.
A lot of culture in today's show. A lot of history too.
Yeah, I think you will all have lots of questions and stories to share with us.
Yes.
So please come to ChinesePod.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you later.
再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1060.
So just go to
www.chinesepod.com/1060
and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1060.